That's go. Hello, welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your weekly reading for the sign of Libra for July 22nd. So, for those of you that are on my other social media platforms, please jump on YouTube and you can see the picture-in-picture where you can get a good look at the cards as I'm talking about them. So, let's get started and see what's going on for Libra now. Look and see. Here we go, Libra. Hermit, first card out the gate. Two of Swords. The Hermit, there's a lot of components that go into the Hermit card, and this is why I think it's going to be a little bit of fun to do the Tarot 101 class. And this part of the reason why I take astrology is so that I can follow along, right? I don't know that I'll ever catch up with any of the information there because it's just quantum as shit. So the first thing that I have here is the Hermit card. Now, like I was saying, there's a lot of components that go into the Hermit card. So the Hermit involves a lot of components that make us think about retreat, right? So part of it is retreat, part of it is gathering information. Some of it is you having isolation and quiet time. This could indicate meditation. It could also meditate gathering evidence and data, details. So what is a hermit but a monk, right? And a monk, when they go into privacy, when they go into isolation, when they go into quiet spaces, they meditate and seek the inner self and inner knowledge and come to ground, recalibrate, so to speak. So the Hermit card is the first card that you have in play. And next to that, we have the Two of Swords, Queen of Cups, 10 of Swords, nope, 7 of Swords, and the Four of Coins. So how this looks right now is in the element of employment or money. I see the Four of Coins. Now, all of these other emotions, decisions, and truly the design behind the things that you want to have for yourself is you're looking to your money in a better way. So what I mean by that is not just looking to bring money into your sphere, but trying to look at ways that when it comes, you can do better with it. Because following that, we have the Magician card, the Star card. And you don't ever want to put yourself in that position of overwhelm again. You want to make sure that you don't get overcommitted. Okay, that would be the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords being bordered on all sides by the commitments that you've made. Now, a lot of time when I say overcommitted, that can be you buying the car that you and your husband know will make it tight on your budget to have it, but you consider all of the factors within it that would be beneficial. Like it's a newer car, it won't break down, it gets good gas mileage, etc. So you have a lot of reasons that you would do that. But when the situations change, those commitments become overcommitments. So the bigger the house, the more expensive the car. When you have the income that's dual, you have two people bringing in money, and then you are overcommitted. So that could also indicate, not just bills, but it might be time. Like I don't have enough time for personal care, as well as raising the kids, as well as my relationship, as well as work, as well as spirituality. It's having a lot of things on your plate and learning to navigate so that you don't get in that place, because the card that's coming up for you is the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is overwhelmed. He literally has blinders on, which is an indication that he isn't able to see like what's in front of him. Can you guys hear Jameson snoring? Always got to be loud. Anyways, Eight of Swords is being bordered on all sides by sharp objects, things that's keeping us paying attention to our boundaries. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. You're not in the 10, you're in the 8, which is building structure. 8 is that divine number that creates structure on structure on structure. So you have the Four of Coins over here, which means you're looking to bring those pennies, those dimes, those little resources into your life. I do see the Two of Coins. So the Two of Swords and the Two of Coins in this reading tells us that there is some potential for you to have a partnership, a job offer, or a project. Two of Coins, two individuals meeting in the middle with an exchange of coin. So this is an exchange of ideas. It's an exchange of resources. You give me labor, I give you money. Ideas, putting you in a place of work, putting you in a place to bring in more resources. Now, as I was talking about the Hierophant, hi J-Lo, what up Alicia? Hey Jade. So the Magician card tells us it's go time. The Magician card is literally, my translation is no more dress rehearsal. So there are some things that are popping up for you that's helping you to realize that a lot of the things that need changed, modified, adjusted are going to come through your own personal skill set, your abilities, and your expertise. So there are periods in our life where, and this is coming up a lot for all of us, this is a Mercury card as well, having to do with communication. So this is meaning that you have to communicate what it is that you want. The Star card is here telling us that things are in alignment. For a lot of us out there, it's definitely feeling, here I go again, Rain Man, definitely. So I've been getting a lot of similar cards for people. And some of them are the Hermit card. Isolation occurs for all of us in a different way. So isolation could be literally unemployed. It could be none of the social activities that we're accustomed to experiencing, so that the pace slows down. It may even be awkward when, I'm hearing a lot of couples who are split that do co-parenting, having a hard time getting children accommodated due to one situation or another. But the interesting thing that I'm seeing often is not only the Fate card, but the Star card, which means that a lot of things are coming into alignment despite the adversities that we have in front of us. Now, the Two of Coins along with the Page of Cups tells us this is a new relationship, might possibly be people that are not old acquaintances that you would normally trust, which may cause you to have the Two of Swords because you haven't yet vetted their personality, you haven't yet vetted their behavior. And insecurity right now is really high on the list because there's so many changing, moving parts. I'm about to get those hiccups every time I channel, either sneeze or hiccup. I think I'd rather have hiccup. I don't know. Whew. So I'm also seeing the Page of Coins, which is not only looking to bring in money, but what we're doing with it. And that's where that indication came in. I do feel that Libra is definitely. Somebody throw some toothpicks down. Let's see if I can count them. The Eight of Coins is you having working too hard for your money. So it might be extra overtime, extra labor, just tired of working that hard for your money. So you're looking to make some ease in your life, trying to make good decisions, undecided. You're putting everything on the scale right now. And you do have the Hierophant in play. So in olden times, the Hierophant was our image representation of people in power. And within it, you can see the symbols of religion, the symbols of astrology, the moon, the sun. We have electricity. The little hat on top represents knowledge. We have the exactness of the triangles. I can't remember the name of that, but we have a guy here, and as he's got these puppet strings and a ladder, he's guiding this person, this character, through the phases and the stages that he's decided that are best for you. And I do see the Page of Swords. So these two together show me the frustration that exists within this situation for you. So you feel like you're about to combust. Yep, Page of Cups, new love, J-Lo said. So as we're doing that little segue, J-Lo, we'll move into looking at our Libra moon and see what our moon and emotions are talking about, how we're feeling inside. So a little housekeeping. Karma on Deck website has the Tarot 101 class that's starting tomorrow night. Jade going to be in there, Donna, Valley, Vanessa, a couple other clients. So if you want to get on that, jump on the website. If there's a financial component, hit me up because I want to see you in the class. We don't want to have any barriers to that. So yeah, hop on there. We'll do that. Book your one-on-one, karmaondeck.com. For those of you on my other social media, in order to see the cards picture-in-picture and a better layout of it, go ahead and stop by YouTube, subscribe. Let's take a look and see. This is your Libra moon. Now, remember, when I do these readings, I always look for a congruency between the regular general reading and the moon reading. there's always going to be two cards that kind of tie the two in because we are one being. So one more shuffle. Different aspects of one being. Alicia's saying it's a shit show. All right, first card that comes up is Judgment. Ooh, and the Devil card. Four of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. Two of Swords. Two of Swords is your first indicator for congruency. So indecision is what's blocking you. You were listening to my video earlier where I was talking about stop playing chess with your relationships. One of the problems that people have, and in general that we have in dating, is because people don't know what they want. So what happens when you don't know what you want? You come to a standstill. It's not even a roadblock. It's, what do you want to eat? I don't know. And then this one wants pizza, and that one wants a burger, and this one wants a salad, and this one wants you to cook at home. And you're kind of at the mercy of what the other individuals in that environment are choosing for you. So unless you speak clearly to what it is you want, you're going to get mediocre results. The Two of Swords, indecision. And here's the thing about indecision. This indecisiveness causes this gap within your life where the motion that was propelling you forward before that period that felt like the engine was just going, and then you kind of come to a stop. It takes so much more momentum for you to get the gears moving again, to start that engine. So you're being led in different directions by the outside influences. Now the Devil card and the Judgment card and the Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. So even though this Ace of Pentacles is not a major card, it still has a heavy influence. So money is still kind of on your mind a little bit. The Judgment card. Now, there's a difference between being judgmental and having good judgment. So the Judgment card that we have here, when you look at her, it's literally the angels coming up to witness for you. Now, whether good or bad, it may indicate that some elements are going to be coming to light. I'm going to say that they might be negative elements, and here's why. The Devil card in play references substances, use, lies, dishonesty, people that are manipulating you. And it also means there are, giving me a whiny crybaby. All right, saying I didn't have any first. Okay, so this can also mean habits for us. So if you are drinking a lot because you're holed up in the house and you're bored, and you know, at first it was just to relax, and next thing you know, it's every day, or smoking weed, you know, or watching too much TV, not exercising. These are all habits that we have. So the devil doesn't always indicate, you know, Satan's coming for you, have evil spirits around you. I really resent some of those reflections that people have due to media, because a lot of the cards that people think are good really aren't. Like the Lover's card, you know, Death card's my favorite. However, I digress. The Devil card is next to the Judgment card. So there might be some very valid reasons for which you are sitting in judgment. And as you are moving through this little timeline here in this row, you have the Judgment card. And like I said, come on YouTube if you want to see the cards in the pattern. There is the Judgment, the Devil, Four of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Swords. So how this looks in a sentence and how it feels to me is we are looking at this. It's telling us that you wish things would go back to the way they were. Eric says, so meth and chronic masturbation is bad. Yeah. I guess not. I actually gave a client that advice lately, like do whatever it takes to get yourself in the mood. If that's wine or private time in the bathtub, like do that. Soothe yourself. But I do have the Four of Cups, which is regret. And if you look closely at this card, there's 3 cups in front of her and 1 behind. It's not exactly like some of the other cards within, you know, having the thing in front of you and wanting it to go back. But the ones in front of you are kind of shinier, but the one behind you is the one that you are thinking that you wish it could go back to that. You wish you could have that one thing. So maybe that's the freedom, maybe that's entertainment, maybe it's, you know, health, etc. But when you have this, it's just this regret. And if you look at it, she's pouting, she's moping. So the Judgment card, the Devil card, and this one. So I'm getting that perhaps you're being too hard on yourself, and also the limitations on your ability to make money. The Ace of Pentacles. So this sitting dead center between these two. So on one hand, you have habits, maybe alcohol, like we were talking about, in Judgment. And then on the other side, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is your money, and your Two of Swords, which is indecision. This indecision, like I said, it's causing you some blockages. There has been some life changes in your life. The Death card is in play. My favorite card. I get excited about the Death card, but that's just my psyche, right? Because I've done the work to give me an opportunity to look at the benefit and the better. Movement is good, right? Anytime you're blocking anything, things die. So, or anytime there's not forward momentum or movement, things die. So the Death card is a renewal or a baptism. I don't like to look at the Death card as death or something we're losing as in a negative affect. I love the Death card because it brings us new opportunity for new birth, or something is being reborn, renewed. I look at it as a baptism. I'm going to go down into the dark in the soul, and I'm going to come back up refreshed, renewed, and clear of all that energy, right? However, you in resistance to change with the Death card, you have the Nine of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Chariot. So your intuition is telling you which direction you need to go. However, the questions that you have about it are causing you to stay up at night. Your moods are all over the place. I don't know what it is about Libra that wants to get out of here, but Libra wants to travel. I am seeing the Chariot card. I'm not seeing any other cards telling me at the moment whether it's actually in play or something that's just an idea. So for Libra, this is my J-Lo here, Libra moon. You have some paranoia, 10 of Wands, which is a burden, a little bit of too much. Then you have the Star card, which is your second indicator. So that's your second congruency. So you have the Star card. So this is trust and alignment. So trust and alignment, watch your attitude. I do see the Two of Cups, which is balance in love. That's one of my favorite cards, is the Two of Cups, not so much the Lovers card. I would say for you, Libra, pay attention to your attitude, do the meditation, because when you're in self-judgment, that causes you to not forgive, allow, accept, and love the place that you're at, because it takes the darkness to see the light. It literally takes the darkness to create the light. Even a small amount of light in the darkness is profound. The darker the light, the brighter you go. The deeper the roots, the bigger the tree. So in all of this, you have the Judgment, the Devil card, and the Four of Cups. I keep going back to that because I feel like you're not hearing it, or you're not allowing yourself to hear that change is coming, whether Libra likes it or not. And your intuition is kicking up. I would even hazard a guess that a lot of you out there are having ascension symptoms. And this is causing you to look at the viewpoint of the path of your life through different lenses. So the High Priestess is that intuition, knowing that there's more of a spiritual path. The Death is your baptism. The Nine of Swords might even indicate bad dreams or lucid dreams or visions at night, traveling at night, not feeling rested when you are sleeping. So I will say to you, the Moon card is a necessary journey. It means, I always say this card is like the Coming to America. Back in the day, people got on their boats and they came over here. And remember the technology at the time, which now, I don't even know if the technology is what I believe it is anymore. I think we probably were smarter than TV and our own history give us credit. But these people are getting on these boats that takes months to get across to another continent. And so is the information accurate? Is it safe? Is it lucrative? Is it bountiful? Can my family survive? I'm risking everything to go. However, it's terrifying. You're getting on a boat in the middle of the ocean, no lights, no community, and it's terrifying, dangerous. So if you look at this as the Moon being a journey that's necessary, but you have some fear, and what is the best way to overcome fear? And that's surrender. So as you surrender to what's coming up, it doesn't feel as crazy anymore, but it's a necessary journey. And the thing about Libra right now is they're holding on to how things should be, how they had been, and what we wanted from that to come back. We can still get some of those same elements by redesigning our life in the way that it's leading. Right now, we are being asked to do better, to do more, to have love, break paradigms so we can move on to the next age. So these things may be small, but they're feeling bigger. That was a lot to say. I don't think I've done a 20-minute reading before on one sign. You're welcome. Let's pull a card for you from the Divination of the Ancients. See what your final message is for this week. Thank you for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, and share on my YouTube. That's my jam. Here we go. This is for you. Runes, perception. So that's interesting that perception came up for you, because perception is going to be like whether you have a positive or negative, light and dark, struggle versus ease, peace versus stress. It's about your perception and how you decide things are going to be. For me, this was extremely difficult because personally, Capricorn Sun, I have a tendency to believe that things have to be work. And it's just recently that I have stepped into my Pisces rising and accepted the Pisces side of me and my Aquarius moon, which is the speaking side of me. So the healer and all of those energies, I've had to learn to surrender to what they have to teach me. Extremely difficult for a Capricorn, especially Capricorn, Sun, Pisces moon, practical healer. Of course, I was a good paramedic. It's how I loved it, right? However, how you perceive, perception is projection. How you perceive things to be is how they're going to be. And no truer sentence, can be talked about more often than that. It's hard to be looking at your problems going, how did I create this? However, the more you do your inner work, the more you realize that all the decisions that you make, including bad marriage, job you hate, how your kids are raised, how they're behaving, are all a direct result of the choices that you've made at one time or another. So as you go through and start taking responsibility and accountability for these things, you start to perceive, because responsibility is step one. Well, actually, that's a lie. Awareness is step one, but that is our responsibility to be aware. You are at an age of information. There is absolutely no excuse for you to be ignorant at this day and time. So perception is projection. As we perceive, for me, abusive past, abusive exes, poverty, my belief system was set up that it's just not there. And when I started to come to a place of understanding that resources are infinite, that our ideas of how to use them are finite, I started to recognize that if I can just trust myself, tribe and people around me, intuition, the superconscious, I can trust all of that to bring me the resources that I need and come to it with peace. So without fear, without control, without literally jamming on things like it's rocket science. So stepping into allowing yourself to receive and be loving with the world, regardless of how the world treats you, you begin to recognize that you're shifting things and putting waves out, which will come back to you. So perception is projection. So when I'm perceiving the world in a more loving way, it's taken me a few years, but I will tell you, in 2012, I lived in a severely abusive relationship. I would flinch if my phone dinged because I was worried he's going to ask me, who is that? And it doesn't matter if it was my supervisor, I'm going to get my ass beat. So I perceived the world to be a dangerous place for a really long time. And I was a paramedic for 20 years. So yes, that assumption and that perception kept reiterating itself. However, I'm not saying a paramedic caused things to be negative, but that's how I viewed things through those pieces of perception. So as I started to do this work more and more, going within, going to love, looking for other people that sound like me, looking for other people that operate like me, hearing, seeing these things within them, and started to treat the world with a little more love, the world started loving me back. So it took time. I'm going to promise you that every single decision is important. Recently, I had a moral dilemma. I didn't want to take responsibility for something that I agreed to. I wanted to sneak my way out of it. There was a moment where I decided that I cannot base, and that's why the conversation came up earlier about stop playing chess with your relationships, stop playing chess with your honesty, stop playing chess with your integrity. Well, I'll be in integrity if he is. I'll be honest if he is. I'll tell the truth. I'll be monogamous for him if he can act right. I won't talk to these other dudes if he treats me with respect. So as you start to manipulate things around you, what happens is you limit the possibility. I don't remember who it was. Like it was Winston Churchill. that don't tell people what to do. No, don't tell people how to do a thing. Tell them what to do and let them surprise you. Same thing applies with perception. So this little thing that I wanted to do, I wanted to manipulate the situation because I was afraid they were going to screw me. I'm still afraid they're going to screw me. There's part of me that holds a little sliver of that timeline. They're going to do this thing. So I was going to make up a story. I mean, these are thoughts that cross my mind. I don't think I ever would really do it. But I was going to make up a story of why I couldn't do the thing. And then I decided that I was going to do the thing I agreed to do. And I told this individual to call me. And immediately he was like, oh, hey, got it. Great. Blah, blah, blah. And all of the things that I thought were going to happen weren't even in the equation. So my own personal belief is when you decide to come from integrity all the time, not playing chess with your integrity and your honesty. And I don't mean the answer to every argument. I love you. You don't say I love you when someone's punching you. But when you recognize that you come to everything with love, that the result that you're going to get is going to multiply in a bigger and better way. Where you start with that is love of self. For the first time in my life, I'm starting to love and enjoy and appreciate and celebrate myself. When you love, celebrate, and accept, you begin to love, celebrate, and accept others, and you treat them a little kinder. So go to that inner child. So perception, the runes. Let's look and see what this little card has to say. Man, I'm sweating every time I chant. Oh, man. Got me. Libra's got me going. The runes. You want me to read the runes? What the author said? Yeah. So it's important to see things a little differently right now. Imagine yourself in the place of those who would appear to be confronting you. Your words or your actions, perhaps rather than taking this as a sign of their displeasure or dislike of what you're doing, see their words as an opportunity to improve the situation by being more open-minded. Agape. Perhaps their actions will actually provide you with an even stronger, more robust idea about how to proceed. So the runes are a reminder that in one single toss, you can choose a very different outcome. Those that seem to be your enemies can often deliver the most useful lessons in life. Your incantation for the week is how I perceived caused me to fail, and so the writings on the wall. Lessons in all I shall embrace, and see the good in all I think. So like I was saying, Two of Swords. I have a video by a coach, a facilitator for PSI seminars who I adore. I'm going to post that, but he talks about decide. The last three letters of decide are "ide." And anything with the ending in "ide" talks about the ending of a thing. So when you decide, when you choose, you must end, kill off, exterminate all other options besides the one that you are clear on. Don't focus on the mechanism, focus on the outcome. So don't go to, I'm going to get a job and spend money or save money. I'm going to think about the car and solutions will arise. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. Love and light to you all. I'm going to continue talking to my YouTube for a little while longer and hang out with them and see if they want to ask some questions for some of my regulars that are on here. Meet me over there. Thank you for hanging out with me. Catch you on the flip side. I am going to pop up immediately after this, though, and do the Scorpio reading. I do love me some Scorpios. So if you want to hang out with me, I'll catch you there. Thanks, guys. Okay, so a couple of you had the questions. So J-Lo. Hello. All right, I'm back. Welcome. So J-Lo, you were saying hermit mode is important to me, Alicia says. Alicia's saying, I'm at a standstill. California governor closed down again, but that he can work outside. Shit show. This is talking about the gray. X has popped it up. Let's see. Hey, hiccups. J-Lo's saying, I don't remember anything. When I sleep, I do see my bed sunk in, like I'm heavy. I'm having trouble sleeping and dreams are crazy. I'm getting a lot of that too. Feeling a little overwhelmed in the mornings. 3 or 4 in the morning. All right, guys. So be Polly. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Love and light. I think I've said enough. Here, guys.